very much. Thank you to Owl. Thank you to Teri and to Ryan. Okay, when I was working in my flower garden in the fall, getting ready to put it to bed, I was overcome with rage. Where once vermilion Maltese crosses beside feathery Veronicas blossomed, year after year, more nutrient bereft, only smothered remnants remained. Nearby, your chorus line of lilac bells, seductive with their fragrant songs, lure ruby-throated hummingbirds who suspend time to sup in throngs. Bellwethers of our garden's slow demise, cunning bellflowers in your soft disguise, beneath the earth, your tendrils creeping, surround our fragile flowers, grimly reaping. My gloved hand finds its lethal grip around your evil slender throat, avenging those that you've snuffed out, awaiting your last gasp and final choke. That was autumnal murder. And now just to say that problems with boyfriends are ever present. So this was back in my youth, and I can remember back that long. And this one I entitled, Sorry, Dad. Oh, he was handsome. He sang in the church choir. His dad was a chemist. He was destined for med school. But when I mentioned that I see God in all nature, he saw in me a devil that I was not. His righteousness mocked my belief. Just one date, that's all it took. Perhaps he thought men should have dominion over all. That blasphemous phrase that separates us from nature and justifies the rape of planet Earth instead of protecting the intricate web of life. Perhaps he hadn't crouched for hours beside his grandparents' fish pond, watching dragonflies, those diaphanous fairies darting above the lily pads. Perhaps he had never seen a frog. Perhaps he had never held a frog and felt it croaking from its pulsing throat, then frightened, pee into your hand before it leapt to safety. Perhaps he had not wondered at the tiny water striders skiing across the pond, how like magic water climbed up each leg, and how defying gravity they did not drown. Perhaps he had never felt a cat purr, its contentment into his soul. Perhaps he had never seen the wonder of new-born lanky foal or spotted fawn. Perhaps he couldn't understand that every creature, great or small, is vital to the being of the web, and we are just one part of that whole. Perhaps, Dad, I just don't see his world. I don't want to dominate and harm like that. Sorry, Dad. You raised me to delight in the sanctity of all the life on earth. Thank you.
This one's for everybody in 2022 that struggled this year. To those. This is to the people who struggled this year, the ones who didn't want to live through the silent struggles, single moms, those grieving a loved one. But more importantly, this is to you. You made it through the year, even with the bad thrown your way. You made it. You're on to another year. This next one called I'm Better Than I Was. I can feel the breeze going through my hair again. Summer isn't something I fear anymore. worried about people seeing what I've done. I'm better than I was. Blackout drunk, not remembering my night, going home with random strangers. I'm better than I was. Not knowing if I'd wake up the next morning because of what I've done. I look forward to waking up now. My idea of fun is writing and singing, throwbacks, remembering the memories. I'm starting to love life again. I'm better than I was. Thank you. And then my last one is written about my ex, Simon. He's a pretty cool dude. This one's called Some People. Some people were like beds to you. You'd go to them for comfort when your worries were too much. They tucked them all away. And sure, sleeping in is nice, but when you hide under your blankets every day and night, I'd imagine you were missing out on the world outside. And so I hoped you'd leave your bed once in a while and venture outside. Maybe slowly, maybe with time, but I think the sun would like to see your face sometimes, because I know I enjoy seeing your face sometimes. Thank you.
This one actually is kind of prescient. I wrote it 8 or 9 years ago, I guess. Actually, before Donald Trump sort of oozed up on the scene. But it was, what it came from was a news item about 5 or 6 old guys my age, in their 70s, down in Alabama, who got caught with an arsenal planning to shoot up, I believe it was a bank. And I began to think about all those really angry old men out there who now have infested a very large part of the world. It's called, And If the Times Are Out of Joint. Angry old men, all too conscious that their time is running out. Secure in the belief they'll be present at the resurrection, but impatient and a little worried, although they will not admit to doubt. Should Armageddon be delayed, their souls will not stand close inspection. Secure in the belief that they'll be present at the resurrection, they'd like to hurry things along, fearing eternity's a long, long time. They cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, despise the new. To the righteous, evil doing to fight the greater evil is no crime. They'd like to hurry things along, fearing eternity is a long, long time. They cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, despise the new. To the righteous, evil doing to fight the greater evil is no crime. Selected chapters, ill-remembered verse. They know the right and true, they cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, despising the new. Displaced persons in their natal land. The old men take the book and read selected chapters. Ill-remembered verse. They know the right and true. They hear the whetstone on the scythe. Anger's a refuge to those in need. Displaced persons in their natal land. The old men take the book and read a little bit. The righteous are in peril. They know the truth when they hear it. They hear the whetstone on the scythe. Anger's a refuge to those in need. They'd sooner admit to anger than to fear. Anger and righteous wrath a little bit. The righteous are in peril. They know the truth when they hear it. They find one another. Convince themselves end times are here, the time to act. They'd sooner admit to anger than to fear. Anger and righteous wrath a bit. Embarrassed by their vehemence, convinced of what they believe is fact. They find one another, convince themselves end times are here, the time to act. A loose affiliation. As time goes on, they support one another, no longer embarrassed at their vehemence, convinced of what they believe is fact. As time goes by, the mere talk dissatisfies, the urge to act grows stronger. A loose affiliation. As time goes on, they support one another, no longer alone with their thoughts. They grow older murmur and they rage as time goes by. Mere talk dissatisfies. The urge to act grows stronger. They would send the world a message, find themselves at center stage, alone with their own thoughts. They grow old and they rage. They will die and they will be lost and they will not be remembered. They would send the world a message, find themselves at center stage, and if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. They will die and they will be lost and they will not be remembered unless they act. They know their foes, they have the means, the tools, and if the times are out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. They meet and talk and plan. Those who know will be thought fools unless they act. They know their foes. They have the means, the tools. It is the end of times. They know the great final battle must be fought. They meet and talk and plan. Those who know will be thought fools should they be discovered, and all their plans shall come to naught. It is the end of time. It is the end of times. They know the great final battle must be fought, and if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. Should they be discovered and all their plans shall come to naught, they will die, and they will be lost, and they will not be remembered. And if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. In the end, it does not matter. It is irrelevant. Although it bothers them, they will die and they will be lost and they will not be remembered. But that is nothing they will admit. Watery eyes, their talk full of phlegm. In the end, it does not matter. It is irrelevant. Although it bothers them, it fills their thought and words with bile, the dreams of explosions and death, but it is nothing they will admit. Watery eyes, their talk full of phlegm. They convince themselves they are running out of time and breath. It fills their thoughts and words with bile. They dream of explosions and death. Sometimes they can almost believe the cleansing fire brings new birth. They convince themselves they are running out of time and breath. They have no time to wait. They would act, and in their act outlive the earth. Sometimes they can almost believe the cleansing fire brings new birth. Though most days the fire is enough, it all ends when they end. They have no time to wait. They would act, and in their act outlive the earth. They have grown old and stiff, and if they ever could, they can no longer bend. Though most days the fire is enough, it all ends when they end. Some of them will be bathed in fire, some bathed in the blood of the Lamb. They have grown old and stiff. If they ever could, they can no longer bend. They are the sword of the righteous. Those they oppose are damned. Some of them will be washed in fire, some bathed in the blood of the Lamb. They know their enemies now. They have names and they have faces. They see them on the nightly news. Although they know the true foe lies hidden. They have possible means, possible targets, possible places. They know their enemies now. They have names and they have faces. They see them on the nightly news, though they know the true foe lies hidden. They have possible means, possible targets, possible places. They will see them dead, throwing out to rot upon some stinking midden. They see them on the nightly news, though they know the true foe lies hidden. Though if the great be beyond their reach, there is evil enough and close at hand. They would see them dead, thrown out to rot upon some stinking midden before they die. They must light a fire and purify the bleeding land. Though if the great be beyond their reach, there is evil enough and close at hand. But impatient and a little worried, although they will not admit to defeat, before they die, they must light a fire and purify the bleeding land. Angry old men, all too conscious that their time is running out. Thank you.
People come and go. I get that. I kind of expect that. But you were my ride or die. Well, so I thought. They say you have to love yourself before you can start loving anyone else. Well, I love the way you took your hair behind your ear whenever I compliment you. I love the way you look at me. I love how safe you make me feel. I love the way your nose crinkles whenever you laugh. I love the way you say my name. But they say you have to love yourself before you can start loving anyone else. I can feel myself turning inwards. It feels like I've taken 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. Inwards isn't a good place for me, as I know that I shouldn't be left alone with my own thoughts. Thoughts that replay the sound of, "You're not good enough for anyone or anything." Inwards has left me scars on my body. Inwards doesn't know when it's time to leave. I can feel myself turning inwards. I'm trying to fill the void of loneliness, yet the more I fill, the more empty I become. As if there's a hole in my balloon, I feel like I'm destined to feel alone for the rest of my life. I should feel safe, as though loneliness has been around me in my whole life, yet there's a part of me that longs no more to feel this emptiness that lays inside my bony chest. 9,371 days of living. I just want to put this loneliness to rest. Okay, I just have one more. When people ask me how I'm doing, I want to tell them that my BPD has a hold of me, that I'm jealous that they don't understand the depth of how much I'm hurting. I want to tell them like it's having a bitter taste in your mouth that seems to stay no matter how much water you drink. I want to tell them that my eyes feel as if you took a photograph with the flash on. I want to tell them that my body feels as heavy as a little child carrying something. I want to tell everyone that BPD has a hold of me, but when people ask me how I'm doing, I reply with a little laugh and say, "Doing great, thanks. How are you?"
It's been a couple of months since I've written some new poetry, and I haven't liked that at all, because what does a poet do but write poetry, right? And if a poet isn't writing poetry, is she even a poet? So I wanted to read, I have 3 tonight that actually go together. The last one is one that I wrote several years ago, and that's in my chapbook. That one is about how I want to live. And these 2 that I've written in the last month are what I'm living right now. And these 2 are opposite kinds of feelings, but they're feelings that I have almost every single day. So the first one is, so frustrated I could spit. I'm so frustrated I could spit. I want to be the powerful racehorse I think I am, yet I'm hitched to a slow cart, hauling murdered trees to be used even in death. Taught and then forced to serve the powerful. My body, my mind, my labor used to prop up a sick status quo? No more. I've earned my survival of that. I thought I'd left that behind when I fell into worldly oblivion, when I escaped, barely, to care for my own used and abused body. I nurtured liberty, my own and others. I cultivated courage quietly and consistently. I amassed my lessons. I wrote some of what I'd learned with much more to come. And now, pulled, called, determined to speak out loud, dear body is fragile. Asks me to go slowly, live spaciously, and rest. And then rest some more. If I don't, that part of me simply stops and goes on strike. So I try to go forward slowly, to make haste slowly. It's so hard to surrender to reality, but I do, slowly, reluctantly. But I'm still so frustrated I could spit. Thank you. This one is called, Oh, Bliss. I want long days and spacious afternoons sprawled out on the couch with at least 7 books around me, and a journal, and a sketchbook, and some colors, and of course, scrumptious tea and cake. No keyboard, no computer in sight. Dreamy, hypnagogic states, not asleep, not awake, but inside my soul, pictures and people and mysteries and marvels. No goals. No trying to get anything done. Letting images and words float through together. Ideas dancing with images, dancing with colors. Images. In my imagination, being, dreaming, being, a human being. Oh, bliss, may this be so. And then this is the desire that starts all of this. To know mystery. To know mystery, dear one, live the life you long for. You have more choices than you think. What if you knew that the only thing you have to do anymore is what you long to do? What is good, useful, holy? To drop into over and over and over this blessed mystery. Yes. It is possible to live creatively and sustainably with grace and joy. What grows the soul, do this. And what makes dear body thrive, do that. To nurture an inner life is your political act now. Defending the depth dimensions, your wisdom becomes gift. Listen for the rhythm. In, down, up, poured out. In, down, up, poured out. In deep connection with word, image, dream, and silence, live the life you long for. Thank you.
Hi. I recently started writing poetry, very recently, as a way to talk about my feelings without ever having to tell anybody. And little did I know I'd be standing up here telling strangers. So this one is Forget Me. I am the forgotten, not to say that I am unloved, simply less important. My pain is inconsequential. I was abandoned, my brothers protected, forgotten and alone. I am the forgotten friend. I don't fit in enough to get invited, only talk to when I'm conveniently around. I am the forgotten lover, a momentary piece of entertainment in the lives of others, the most available when they get bored, forgotten again until they see my name flash upon their screen. Not unloved, simply less important. They forget I am not made to be beaten and broken. They forget me. You soon will forget me too. This next one is called Love Me. How How do you want to be loved? I want it to be as simple as a look. I want it to be as easy as breathing. I do not need to be told that I am loved. I never understood words of affirmation anyway. Show me you love me. I want to be your first thought in the morning, your last thought at night. I don't need to be your top priority. I just want to be important. I want to be loved like the guy loves the girl in the movies. I want to be loved as much as the guy writing a love song loves that girl. Show me you love me by holding my hand. Show me you love me by kissing the tips of my fingers, the tip of my nose. How do I want to be loved? I want to be loved as much as I love you. But I ask you, how do you want to be loved? Thank you.
A handful for you tonight. I'll start off with one that I wrote back in 2004. It's the earliest one I have on record, when I was actually a kid. Lesson to be learned. Some people would say that this is the day that the world has begun. Others would not like it a lot. They say the world has ended. Half empty, half full. The people are null who say life can be judged by a glass. Death is eternal. Life is a moment, so don't go being an ass. You might not know it to look at me, but I don't identify as male. So this is some poems from when I was going through that period of transition in my life. My child. Blue eyes and shifting colors of hair, rebellious to me, a shining rainbow and inspiring such pride. I encourage this insouciance, this growth of disobedience, never giving my reasons to a daughter springing tall from the fruits of my labor. Not restricted to childhood, an entire sky overhead, a night sky of sparkling eyes and eternally youthful breaths easing the sails of passage. With the unjudging purity, a hand to always clasp, a voice to ever whisper and shout on and never stop, two hands to grow, callous and vain. So Allison, I birthed you, and be you girl or boy or any, as I father you and tend to you, know that I'll always be there for you. Naked we stand, before a mirror bold, before a world behold naked spirits never cold and take the breath of mercy. Hairs like black forest, sparsed and spaced, a spread, a body fine, the organs never perfect, and the skin a sag, a saddened. In the mirror never perfect, are breasts and lips, cosmetics to cover the acres and aches like only the longing may feel. Naked we fall to knees, Allison and I. Our face we vie, for expressions do lie and project the most perfect sorrow. Beard and tooth like song, cracked and always to mourn. The words and lines set down eternal, repeated in verse and chorus of lost. Trying smiles and reach to touch, stroke your breast, caress your beard. Two worlds never to meet, and the confusion to follow if they did. Naked we sit in always contemplation. This is a relation, blood fornication, to flirt with the other side of destiny. Dictators. Pregnant pauses give away the secrets of a child. Mother's touch and aching heart, beware a youth so riled, and though her name be Allison and mine might be so wild, the rift between the two, of course, a growth always grows compiled. You birthed me, O mind, my father dearest, who became my mother and spawned this girl. No Freud could speak of such delicate relationship, the subtleties overcome with wisdom's pearl. You, Allison, dictate what we should or should not become. together such sum, and rely upon the parting of mother-daughter, starting a family in one soul, never to be whole, divorced from the sun. Night and day become the boundaries of a treacherous world. Midnight Lover. Resume the dance on a year's birthday of the mind, anniversary of our epiphany. The letters flow once more free, ink spills again, tears drip no more. Sweat runs between us, wordless in the night, taken by fever and lust in the undertaking. We must join and roil and roll and kiss and take and moan, not erotic by day, but by starlight the hidden allure. Sweetly coils to touch, soul and lip, and such as might take the sun away, leave the spell of moon. Like wolf our hackles rise, fury to the world, bared teeth and hand in hand, lovers do understand, and Allison, my heart's desire, sees as through my very eyes. Friend and partner, shaved and restrained, tooth and nail, tense and intense, fist, strike, bow, blow, block, fist, strike, block. Seeking the weakness, gripping the real, finding the soft, bruising the spirit, betraying none, taking count, bleeding some, circling round. Panting and grinning, soaked and sore, released and volatile. The champions ever shall spar and grow and die. Allison, the unendingly vulnerable, shall bend and fly. Round two, Allison. Last one, I suppose. The rules have died. In the vein of bygone winds, pass through bent, frail body, the echoes in the canyon of doubt and fear, the message written 1,000 times, flows and blows and blusters. Bones stagger in a glass shell, bones made of crystal, spine of ice. Bones shatter in a glass shell, funneling light as through a prism, dripping right through wounds. What transitions are there between us? Night to light, wind to water, bones to break, words to falter. Which of us is the dead, Allison? Which of us bears life and longing? And which of us will give birth to the next?
Start off with this poem I wrote on the ride here. I'm going to end up touching it up later, so no judgment, please. It's called Introducing Me. I am many things. I'm an artist, I'm a poet, I'm a singer, I'm a friend, daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, and the list can go on and on. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I have confidence that continues to grow as I continue to learn my worth. I have trauma and toxic behaviors I've been working on unlearning and healing from. I have mental health issues, chronic pain, and other ailments that get in the way of the life I want to lead. But those ailments don't make me the person I am. They strengthen me and give me the ability to understand and empathize with those around me. Everything I've overcome have humbled me and taught me not to take life for granted. I'm the friend that will always be there even when others weren't there for me when I needed them, but I'm learning to not let myself be taken advantage of. When I love with all my heart. When I worry, I tend to worry too much. When I feel so strongly, and when something is on my brain, I tend to overthink a lot. I appreciate honesty and good communication. I prefer calling over texting, deep conversation over small talk, and when I really connect with someone, it means the world to me. If we have a connection, please be patient with me and don't take advantage of my love and kindness, because when I love someone, I will value them through all time, space, and eternity. And my love and light will continue to outshine the darkness in this world we're in. So this is like an old poem, but then like I wrote a kind of part 2 to it. It's just like one of my favorite poems I've written, so. It's called Cold. The last time I saw you, you wouldn't answer my texts or calls, but your window was open, so I knew you were home. You tried to ignore me, but I wasn't planning on leaving until I got what I needed. I needed my cat carrier. The cat carrier was the important thing, but maybe it wasn't truly the thing I wanted to come for. Maybe what I came for was one last look at you to see what I had once called mine, but I don't think you ever truly were mine. You were as cold as the last time I saw you. You wouldn't even look me in the eye. You gave me as much respect as you'd give a beggar in the streets, but love, the difference is that I would treat a beggar in the streets with more respect than you ever would give me. And I treated you like a goddess and would have never hurt a single hair on your head. Maybe in a way, I wish that you would have abused me physically instead of the mental, emotional roller coaster you put me through, because then at least I would have felt your touch. But the last time I saw you, you were cold. But then again, I should have expected it to be that way, considering the last few weeks of our relationship, I was experiencing it with a stranger. 2.0. Give me the respect I always gave you and listen to what I have to say. You like to haunt me. I feel your coldness come over me. I thought once I ended things, it would be done. But your cold, chilling person brings shivers to my bones and makes me anxious and insecure. When I walk into the Owl, this is my safe place. My poetry is my safety net and my inner journal. And when I walk in here and see your face, hear your voice, it makes me want to drain tears from my eyes, wring out the dampness my sleeves wipe away from my face. When I walk in here and see you, I quiver and shake, thinking of all that I gave and everything I did for you. It was all taken for granted. You never loved me. You loved how I made you feel. I gave you real, genuine love for the first time, but it was never enough for you. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. This poem is called Average. I was demeaned once, and I enjoyed it. I'm not a sadomasochist. However, I do like being further from average. Thank you. Thank you very much. My tribe. My tribe is a mingling of adjacent hues, finding harmony, complementary. My tribe is a facet of you and me, a mashup of science and art, an education of the heart. My tribe is a wisdom bringer, a lighthouse singer over crimson shoals. My tribe is a ghost dance partner, a symphony's daughter, a shield for fodder. 'Cause my tribe is peace, like a captainless ship, like a philosopher's quip, like a I don't know, but I'd like to kind of get it right kind of trip. My tribe is yearning, curious and learning, rumbling with vulnerability, spilling over with capability. And every time I think we're there, we go a little deeper. But it isn't complicated, because my tribe is love. Thank you.
I have 3 poems for you tonight. And the first one is an old poem, but it's sort of, I want to read it tonight because of the latest news you might have heard about a 6-week-old baby being abused. I wrote the poem to somebody who I love dearly when I found out she was abused. It's called 1,000 Tears. We cried 1,000 tears for the girls and boys who were abused and wished their innocence were not ripped away from them. Their scars are deep and may never heal. Their broken hearts may never be unbroken. Their nightmares may never stop, and they may never be able to trust. So we cry 1,000 more tears, and then 1,000 more. We reach out and unite in solidarity. We speak words that heal and come from a loving place. We respect boundaries and cherish each other. We stand strong and tall and send a solid no to those who intrude. My next poem was written after I had an interesting conversation with somebody about control. It's called If I Could Control People. Some people think that control is bad. Let me tell you what my world would be if I could control people. We would be caring, kind, and compassionate with each other. We would all support each other when things are not going well, and everyone would contribute the best they can to their families, to their communities, and the world. Nobody would be overburdened or overtaxed mentally, physically, or financially. People would do their best not to hurt each other, and if they ever hurt someone, they would apologize, make amends, and act kinder. We would all know how to relax and have time to do we would all know how to relax and have time to do so whenever it is needed. We would be generous and supportive to people's aspirations and dreams. There would be no suffering, and people would not only survive, but thrive and flourish in all aspects of their lives. We would be happy and thrilled to wake up every day because life was so good. And the next one is the Old Girls Club. Mary had a weird dream last night involving the Pope and a toothless drug dealer. First, she felt scared, but then she laughed about it. I suggested her to take less sleeping pills or drink less alcohol. Jane said that falling in love in her youth was much more fun than falling on the floor and having a hard time getting up. Julia was happy to tell us that she is now able to bite her butt when she removes her upper and lower teeth at the same time. We were all in stitches when she showed us how. Too bad they got stuck to her knitted skirt. Jenny was sad because she left the eggs on the counter, and when they rolled on the floor and broke, an image of the devil appeared in them. She tried smudging her house and had mistaken weed for sage. Her house smelled like the 60s hippie camp for days. And the girls keep talking about life and their weird dreams. Sometimes I can hear them giggle, and sometimes I hear them cry.
Okay, there we go. This is the main one I want to read, and I've got lots of little peripheral stuff. So this one I'm calling The Gift of Pause. Is a pregnant pause ever a wondrous occasion, or a silent herald of the stories yet untold, or more like an alien infestation, and the abortion clinic is closed? Well, then break the silence and stop the violence of misfortunes never told. And let's not hear of the seeds spilled upon the ground. Why save for a rainy day what already threatens to drown out, even when the sun is out? What if the pause never wanted your child? Did you ever think of that? But no, you just knocked her up without even a thought, blithely unaware of what you were so idly conceived out of wedlock. Did you even consider contraception when so much invention is eugenics of thought? Sorry. I think I got a typo there. Dictating which ideas can combine and bear offspring and which ones cannot. Oh, that was supposed to be dictating, never mind. Do you even know that pause? Did you entertain hours of conversation, or did you blame it on the hours and the days lost for having hesitated so much? This pregnant pause already hangs heavy with bestiality. Did you stop to consider the incompatibility of an human being and an abstract idea? Or what kind of life could such a child have, being half real and half imaginary? Heaven knows how many there are. Maybe next time, sorry. Okay, heaven knows how many there are. Maybe next time you'll stop and think before your next pause. How old is that pause anyway? Did you even think to ask her? Already bored of your not even half-formed metaphor that is definitely underage? Are the thoughts you cannot recall anything more than their teenage runaways? And if your thoughts cannot be contained in memory, then maybe that's because of how you treat them. Hallways strewn with thoughts half out the door to make room for more on the floor, equally discarded in their half-hearted desolation. Is it any wonder then if none of them come to realization when intentionality is converted to a theory of magical contagion? Out-thought out. Clear your tabula rasa with new liquid mind-erasing shout. We complained we cannot keep them, yet we're the ones who kick them out. If human beings can give birth to thoughts and dreams, populating metaphoristry, however conceived, then there must be some precursor to such compatibility waiting in the wings. What could be such a creature, or what could such a creature be? Do thoughts and ideas really produce asexually in so many singular acts of creation, or are they instead a product of cross-fertilization? Conceptual purity is in fact incest. And when you don't keep tabs on them, are they screwing in your mind? How else could they so easily divide and multiply? And what else could it mean to have a fertile mind and opposed to a mental contraceptive of their own religion? That keeps their thoughts apart. If thoughts and dreams evaporate numinally, then perhaps we can also drip down into solidity, reform through condensation, reflecting all the angles of their peculiar phases. And that is that one.
Very impulsive decision. I was not intending on reading poetry today, but it's all right.
The only way it gets done.
There we are. So, and this poem is not even titled, but I hope you enjoy it, and yeah. I am praying to the saint that holds my life in the balance, for it seems to be in need of praise. It does not know how to keep a life upright when it is so weighted by death. I myself seem to drop to my knees, the weight forcing me down, a rosary of contemplation in my hands at the notion of my disappearance. Yet, when I lay in bed, weighted by my duvet, I feel comforted by my own demise. It feels as if the unknown, that is death, is far more interesting than the life I already know. The heavy duvet beckons me to never wake up on a cold winter's day, because what in this world is worth leaving the warmth of slumber, and what in this world would ever make me want to wake up at all? To wake up is to see and hear and to be so aware of every moment, to see every breath that escapes someone's lips, to see every misstep they take, to see my own mistakes and to live through them. I guess to be living To be a living mistake is to be alive. So I pray to the saint who holds my life in the balance to take me away. Yeah. And then I have one more. And this one is kind of about, it's very cynical, so I don't know, don't take it too personally. Love is dead. You killed it with your words, so harsh and unforgiving that it had no choice but to wither. It has died in your arms by your hand. Blood seeps into the fabric of your lives, thin polyester, just like your love. Synthetic, manufactured, and designed for your own needs. I bought your little love. I paid the price. But it has disintegrated as it no longer serves you. It no longer envelops you in a warm embrace. No. Now it is lint-covered and the fibers have lost their strength. No worries for you, though. You'll simply gather your profit and purchase a new sheet of your stupid and unforgiving polyester love. And you'll make new polyester dates for your new lovers, and they'll fall into your fast fashion, quick and easy love, a gift just from you. But that gift will mean nothing quite soon. Soon the trend of loving will be gone and you'll be moving on. But I should be grateful. I got a taste of style, of love. And who am I to speak? I fell for your pretty designs and that kind, kind smile. But don't think I won't forget those sweet, sweet words of cotton and silk, those natural conversations so easy. Say goodbye and on to the next customer. Have another love affair and sell them your cheap, cheap love. Because your merchandise won't last a day and there isn't a price I'd pay to entertain your salesmanship.